This week's comics are here and they're not holding back. Awesome comics you need to read, so let's break them down. Spoilers are ahead, so buckle up. Anyway, let's get into this week's top 10 comic books. All right, so we got Storm issue number 2. I enjoyed the first one from start to finish. The first book that came out this week had to have been Storm. I loved it. I thought it was great. The artwork inside is awesome. So we start off with Storm. She's going to help a cargo ship from being attacked by pirates. She's coughing up blood. And even on the ship of people she saves, she's still being discriminated against for being a freaking mutant. It's ridiculous. Then we go back to Storm Sanctuary. She's taking a shower. We're seeing like this countdown timer from like 12 hours, 14 hours. And then she's in the shower. Her hair's falling out in 10 hours. And it's become apparent that she needs some medical attention. Like this radiation is getting way too bad. And we don't want to see the death of Storm. So she makes it down to Arkansas, the night and day hospital for the extra mundane. And then this doctor walks in and he recognizes that it's Storm from the X-Men. And he doesn't really want to help her at all because he's like, you're an X-Men. I don't want nothing to do with you. She feels like she's being discriminated against because am I a mutant? Like I thought this was a safe place for me to come to with my diagnosis. And he's like, yeah, I help all mutants here. The Fantastic Four, they've donated. We've had Moon Knight donate. We've had the Avengers, everybody but the X-Men. So then she takes off the ruby from her neck that was her mother's and says, on behalf of the X-Men, I'll donate this to you. So he's like, fine, I never thought I'll say this, but I guess I'm going to be helping the X-Men. And then his mutant ability is able to diagnose her, and he diagnoses her like instantly and is just like, yeah, I can't help you. Which is like, you went through this whole back and forth of saying, I don't want to help you. You can't even help her. It was ridiculous. But anyway, he gives her a referral to a doctor who can help, someone who was a previous Sorcerer Supreme, and he tells her to hurry because she only has 6 hours to live, which is, whoa, what the heck, dude? That's what this countdown was, the 10 hours, the 14 hours. It's literally the countdown to her death. So she gets out of there, she flies to the sky, and then it looks like some whale in the sky just kind of whacks her down to the ground somewhere in Haiti, and there we see the doctor that's gonna help her is Dr. Voodoo, and it looks like he can help, so I'm kind of hoping that he's able to save her, but he's gonna do some voodoo magic. So I'm really enjoying this. This Storm book has been phenomenal right now. These 2 issues, I'm completely hooked, and I can't wait for issue 3. If you guys read Storm, let me know what you guys think down below.
All right, next we have Batman Full Moon, issue number 2. Listen, I'm telling you right now, when you have the mystical arts, when you have supernatural elements, you bring them together, you have this dark lore, and then you have this amazing artist, Steven Sobick. I love it, and I love the story. I love what's going on. It's a little weird with the whole John Constantine, Zatanna love triangle with Batman. I'm still trying to figure that out. But the story itself, and then the whole struggle that Bruce Wayne's having with this demonic possession, which isn't really a demonic possession. It's more like, you know, your man's transforming and he's becoming a Lycan, if you may, from Underworld. But anyways, becoming a werewolf. And do we actually see this transformation? Yes. And is it badass? Again, to me, with the artwork, with everything, and the location of the transformation, I thought was pretty cool. So check it out, Full Moon, issue number 2.
Marvel Zombies Dawn of Decay. I feel like this book is kind of going under the radar because it's a super fun read. So the first issue, Groot kind of has a cold. He sneezes on Captain America. Captain America then transforms into a zombie, and then everyone on board transforms into a zombie. And the plane crashes and everyone in the city becomes zombies. And the only people that are left are Bruce Banner, Hulk, and Groot. So in this issue, we see that Groot goes into the subway car. He's holding right now onto Bruce Banner, carrying him over his shoulder because he hears someone calling out for their mother. And he's like, oh my God, is somebody else still like not turned that's hiding down in the subway? No, it was just a toy. And then this giant train cars coming speeding full of zombies. Groot's trying to get Banner out of there, and the only way to get him out of there is to turn him into Hulk. So he smacks him in the face, turns into Hulk. Hulk gets furiously mad. Like, he gets pissed off, dude, and he starts attacking these zombies, but he's really mad at Groot for smacking him. So he chases Groot outside of the subway, and then whop, a giant foot comes slamming down on Hulk. And it's a zombie Ant-Man, which is crazy. And he's going back and forth with Groot and Hulk. And then Groot throws a manhole covering hitting him in the belt, making Ant-Man turn little, and they finally make it, and they're outside Avengers Tower, and Groot's like, yo, we gotta go inside the tower. Hulk doesn't want to hear it until Groot takes an Avengers toy, Rocket Raccoon, and makes a joke, and Hulk starts laughing, and he's not angry anymore, and he comes back down to Banner, and then Groot sneezes in his face. The disrespect to sneeze in somebody's face, bro. Second person, he did it to Captain America, and now he does it to Bruce Banner. I guess he's uncontrollable, it just comes out of him no matter what, but he sneezes on him, and we're like, oh my god, and he doesn't turn. And then Banner starts connecting the dots that, you know what, you didn't start this epidemic, this zombie virus that's going crazy everywhere. He starts thinking back to what happened right before you sneeze on Captain, and Captain was handed a pen. General Ross gave him this pen, and if you look at the panel, you could kind of see some black gooish stuff coming off of the pen, and they thought that the pen was just leaking, but maybe that was the beginning of this infection. So now Bruce Banner and Groot are in Avengers Towers, and they're calling throughout the city for the Avengers to assemble. Even though they're all turned, they're trying to call the Avengers so they could get Captain America to Avengers Tower, because they need his blood to try to get a sample to see if he could figure out some type of a cure. How are they going to do this? I have no idea. I'm looking forward to the next issue. Let me know if you guys are reading Marvel Zombies Dawn of Decay. I'm loving this book.
All right, so we have a new issue #1 by DC Comics called The Question All Along the Watchtower. And this focuses on the character of Renee Montoya. She's dealing with the struggles of being fired as commissioner of Gotham City and replaced by none other than your boy, Vandal Savage. But she should look to the sky because she's actually part of the Justice League Unlimited. Yes, she's part of the new Justice League Unlimited. They're back. Everybody's all in, all inclusive, right? Now she's confronted by Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman, and they actually have a task for her. They have a mission, a very important mission, which is trying to figure out what's causing these glitches within our security systems. What's going on? We're getting this bad vibe. Everybody could feel it that somebody or something is trying to get into the Watchtower. As the story progresses, we get to see that she has a new team now. The Question has a new team. It consists of Blue Beetle, even her ex is on the team, Batwoman, and a few others. It ends with a robot actually infiltrating the Watchtower, already infiltrating the Watchtower, coming through the security systems with no alerts, no alarms, and boom, he's in. They start fighting. They're like, what's going on? And then they look at him and they're like, wait a minute, isn't this guy the Conduit? But wait, isn't Conduit locked up in prison? What's going on here? Come to find out, is actually a distraction of what's actually happening behind the curtain. And that was pretty cool. That's where it leaves off. And there you have it, issue #1, The Question All Along the Watchtower.
All right, so we got Moon Knight issue 2, and the first Moon Knight book was pretty quick. There was a lot going on. The artwork inside was great. I was kind of looking forward to this issue, and I picked it up. So it starts off with Moon Knight talking with Tony Stark in the Impossible City, and Moon Knight has this so there's a street drug that's magical, that's super addictive, taking over the city, and Moon Knight wants to stop this. And Tony has a history of addiction, so he comes to Tony because Tony's super smart and has a history of addiction, so he has an understanding of how bad this is. So Tony tells him, look man, I'm an engineer. I can't fix this, and the fact that it has so much magical elements to it that I wouldn't even know what to do. The only person that I know that could maybe figure it out is already dead, Hank Pym. So Moon Knight goes back to the streets, and he sees some of Fairchild's goons kind of speeding away, and he kind of wants to apprehend them so he could squeeze them and get some information out of them. And then 8-Ball comes out of nowhere and uses his pool cue to flip the car, and it's kind of an awesome moment because he just comes out of nowhere. So the car flips, which is pretty awesome. 2 of the goons flee, and then one guy stays behind. He's wearing like this whole gas mask suit. You know, maybe he's the one that's cooking it up, I'm not sure. But he looks at Moon Knight and it's like, you don't remember me, you don't know you? And Moon Knight's like, no dude, I have no idea who you are. So he takes his mask and suit off, and it's pheromones, and Moon Knight's like, oh no. And then everything gets distorted around them. Their depth and perception is all over the place. Pheromones starts fighting Moon Knight and 8-Ball, and it's craziness. But then Pheromone's like, Fairchild wouldn't like if I killed you, so I'm gonna leave like my goons did. Kind of just like, none of this stuff that we're doing in the streets is personal. Like, we're just conducting business. We just got a product we have a corner on the market and we're just trying to make some money, like leave us alone, Moon Knight. That's pretty much kind of the atmosphere of what's going on. Moon Knight's kind of pissed because he got away and he wasn't able to squeeze any information out of anybody. He goes back to his home base and he's talking, trying to figure things out. What's the next move? What can they do? And so Moon Knight has a one-on-one conversation with Tigra, and he kind of spills the beans a little bit. He's like, hey, I have to tell you something. Before I died, because Moon Knight was resurrected, there's something that I knew that I didn't tell you about, because I didn't want you to get your mind clouded with what's going on and wind up getting us killed or having you get killed in battle. Her father, her child, ex-lover, Hank Pym, is actually still alive. So he's not dead. Next issue, they're probably gonna be looking for him because who the hell knows where he is. Looks like we're gonna be finding out what's gonna be happening in the next issue, or at least another setup for something. But I'm enjoying Moon Knight so far. Let me know if you guys are reading it and if you're looking forward to issue number 3.
Batman and Robin Year 1, issue number 2, and this is just continuing the growth between Batman and Robin, to be honest, like their relationship. I'm loving what Mark Waid is doing. I'm loving what Chris Samney's doing with his artwork. This is just a fun ride. This is definitely very original, just to see how the relationship, the complexity of the relationship between Batman and Robin, or Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson within the first years of their meeting. Also, we have this Laura, this Child Protective Service agent, trying to investigate and make sure that everything's going well with Dick Grayson and Bruce Wayne. But ultimately, it's just about the relationship of, you know, them growing together and actually understanding each other, but also the tension that is growing, you know, the disagreements that they're having. But I'm loving it. Again, it's been great. It's a good ride. I can't wait for part 3. Or issue number 3. We also see Two-Face, and we have the General within this issue. And, you know, things are cooking up. So yeah, Batman and Robin Year 1, issue number 2.
All right, we got Scarlet Witch, issue number 6. I've been enjoying this run since the beginning. Here we got Scarlet Witch coming back to her shop, and guess who's waiting for her? Agatha. It was Agatha all along. She's waiting for her. Scarlet Witch is like confused, like, why are you here? I don't understand. You have nothing left to teach me. You shouldn't be here. And she's like, I'm not here to teach you anything or to do anything. I'm here because I have a new student for you, someone that I can't train. I've tried for the last month and it's just not working out. And I know that she's gonna be in good hands with you. So we get introduced to Amareth. We don't really know what her abilities is. I'm assuming she's some type of a switch. She apparently was found by her foster father when she was 10 years old with no memory of her past at all. So Scarlet Witch says, you know, I'm not like other witches. Let me try to see if I could go into your mind and use my magic to try to find out what happened those 10 missing years of your life. And Scarlet Witch is unsuccessful. She says there's like this giant firewall that's keeping her from being able to look through the past, but there's something definitely there. It's just being blocked. She decides, hey, you know what? Let's, I'm sure you're hungry. I'm pretty hungry. The Scarlet Witch just came back. She was fighting with Daredevil. So they go out to get a slice of pizza. And then this portal opens up and this giant robot comes through the Eliminator and says, Scarlet Witch, you've been marked. So not to fight in the city. And this new chick, she shouldn't be fighting. So Scarlet Witch opens a portal to take this machine to some island so they could fight. And as she's doing that, Amareth runs through into the portal with her. And Scarlet Witch is furious. She's like, why would you do this? Why would you come here with us? Like, I'm supposed to fight this guy. I shouldn't be worrying about you. And she's like, listen, all I had before was Agatha. She dropped me off here. Now you, Scarlet Witch, are the only person I have in my life. So if you're fighting and things are going bad, I'm gonna fight too, because she doesn't know anybody else. Even though she just met her, that's her only connection she has in the world. So Scarlet Witch is like, all right, whatever. She starts battling this guy. She's kind of no match. Like this giant robot knocks her to the ground, starts attacking Amareth, and that kind of pisses off Scarlet Witch. So she gets up and goes crazy on him and takes him out. And Amareth is like, whoa, I should never piss you off because you definitely know how to fight. Like you're right. You're not like other witches. And then that's when the robot gets up and gets Scarlet in this bear hug and says, if I'm going out, you're going out with me, and activates the self-destruct. And Scarlet Witch cannot get out of it. And then Amareth steps up to the plate. She puts her hands on the back of this robot and kind of absorbs his entire self-destruct into an orb and then puts it within her body. And Scarlet Witch is blown away. She's like, what you just did right now is so advanced that she can't even believe that you, with pretty much no training, were able to pull something like this off. And then we cut to Agatha. Agatha was the person who sent the robot. Like, what is going on? Agatha, why are you always meddling in things? And she kind of realizes that she has no idea what Amaranth is. She knows the only person that could kind of take her out is Scarlet Witch, and she's kind of orchestrating that to kind of happen. So I guess we're to see what happens in the next issue. I'm kind of interested to see how Amaranth develops as a character. I thought it was pretty cool seeing her. I like her design, the way she looks. She's got those things around her head, making her look real witchy. So yeah, no, I enjoyed this. This is another good Scarlet Witch issue, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
All right, next we have Titans issue number 17. This is continuing the story with the Clock King. I must say, I loved it. I loved how it started off, right? Clock King talking about himself, talking about, oh, I don't do hand-to-hand combat. I don't do, you know, throwing a fist. I ain't no Mike Tyson. I ain't no Jake Paul. I mean, he didn't say that, but he was just talking about he doesn't have any great superpower besides his brain. He feels like his brain is you know, in the highest of intellects, and that's his greatest weapon. We get to see the Titans. They're all hooked up on a machine. He's manipulating their mind. He's going through their memories. This is all just to feed him information, secret identities, any secrets he needs to know, anything to take out, whether it's the Justice League, Titans, or whoever. We get to see that the Titans were able to overthrow this mind control with the leadership of Donna, which now she's the leader of the Teen Titans. Nightwing appointed her. She was able to come out and get out of this and come up with a plan. Ultimately, they were able to defeat sort of the Clock King. He gets away, but they were able to get out of everything and destroy the machine and help everybody out. Now, the Clock King runs away. He finds himself in a bar. He's drinking. He's like, damn, how did I lose? How did I, you know, underestimate these guys? These are Teen Titans. And then he's approached by, you know, he's approached by your boy, Deathstroke. Yes, Deathstroke. The original, the I guess the Teen Titans big bad, you know, guy. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, he's confronted by him. He's telling him, hey, listen, you're looking at this in the wrong way. This is the wrong perspective you have of the Titans, because now they're in par. They're right there on scale with the Justice League. And at one point they substituted the Justice League, and you have to treat them with that amount of respect. And this is Deathstroke. This is another guy. This is like a Batman wannabe when it comes to being a master strategist. I'm just kidding. Not with the Batman wannabe. And this is his own character, but you get me? He follows the line, like, you can't underestimate them. We got to be prepared. This is how you're going to do it. Clock King was like, hey, listen, you got ways to defeat them?
He's like, I have several.
That's how it ends, the comic. We'll see what's going to happen from there. I'm very intrigued with what's going on. I really like the introduction of this issue when it comes to the Clock King talking about himself and going through things and seeing him in a different light. I thought it was pretty cool.
Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 11. We made it to issue 11. I gotta say, this is a cool issue. So we start off with Spider-Man. He's kind of calling on the phone, trying to get Harry, like, yo, we were supposed to meet here. Where are you at? Harry's ghosted him. So he calls Dr. Ock, like, yo, Dr. Ock, is he in the lab? And no, he's not in the lab. So he's like, hey, can you track him for me? And he's like, fine, whatever, I'll track him. And he's kind of searching for him, and he finds something. And as he's about to tell Spider-Man what he finds, Spider-Man sees a bank robbery. He's like, call me back later. Hangs up on him and goes, and Doc Ock's like, I don't have your phone number, dude. I can't call you back. I thought that was hilarious. Spider-Man goes, he fights the bank robbers, Mr. Negative's goons, takes him out, light work in like a minute or so, super fast. And then Mr. Negative shows up and he's like, dude, you can't just let me rob a bank. And so for him to make his escape, he kind of corrupts all the civilians that are in the bank to attack Spider-Man. And then Mr. Negative and a couple of his goons flee. Spider-Man doesn't know what to do, because what are you, fighting civilians? Like, what are you supposed to do? So he's getting ripped to shreds. They're scratching at him, clawing at him, grabbing him. He finally gets out of there. He goes back home to Mary Jane, and he's just like, he looks like he had a bad day. Like, he's got cuts all over his suit, a little bit of blood here, a little bit of blood there. And Mary Jane's like, you good, Tiger? And he's just like, yeah, you know, just another day at the office. But Mary Jane's like, listen, Peter, do I need to be scared? Like, I know you're Spider-Man and what you do is dangerous, but when do I know to be scared? And he's just like, you don't need to worry. Everything's fine. But when I tell you that we need to go, you need to understand that it's time to go. Mary Jane's kind of a bit worried now, like things are starting to get more real, freak her out a little bit more. And Spider-Man seems almost nonchalant about it. Like, it's obvious that he's worried, he's thinking about it, but he doesn't really have some type of an evacuation plan for his family. Like, what if people come after his kids or his wife? Like, I feel like he needs to think about that a little bit more. Anyway, Mary Jane's like, hey, you want to shag? And he's like, I can't, sorry, I gotta go meet Mr. mister. I gotta go meet Uncle Ben in Memorial Park. So he goes to Memorial Park. He's bringing some flowers for Aunt May, who passed, and him and Ben are talking, and Ben's like, look, man, I connected the dots. I know you're Spider-Man. He doesn't say Spider-Man, but he says, I know your secret. And, you know, soon other people are going to start figuring it out unless you start changing things up. Like, things can't keep going the status quo. They need to change, or more people are going to start connecting the dots. And then he also tells Peter the same thing where I was referencing before. You also have to realize things might go south bad, and it might affect not just you, but also your family. So you have to keep an eye out for that and have some type of plan. Like, how do you know when the wave's going to crash on you before it crashes on you, you know? And so Peter kind of is like, yeah, I got it under control. Don't worry. Harry's here. I got to go meet him. And the issue ends. We also see a small shot of Kingpin, who's kind of like pissed off with everything that's going on and wants to take his city back. So I'm sure we're going to see more of that. But I got to say, I've been enjoying Ultimate Spider-Man. Let me know if you guys are reading Ultimate Spider-Man, because I think it's pretty damn good.
Terminator issue number 2 by Dynamite Comics, and this is all focused around this U.S. Marine, Private Edward Saigon, I believe. He finds himself in Saigon, Vietnam during the Vietnam War era. Him and his company just got word that, hey, the U.S. is pulling out. So before they pull out, before he leaves, he wants to make sure he retrieves a treasure. But on this journey of retrieving this treasure, he's confronted by a T-800 Terminator. I don't know who this is. It could be Arnold. I don't know. I don't know too much of the Terminator lore when it comes to comics. So I don't know. I'm assuming it's a different Terminator. We get this perspective from this Terminator that his main goal is to terminate your boy, the Private Edward Saigon. That's where we leave off. We leave off on a little cliffhanger. He does say something weird. He does call him Joe. It's like, hey, Joe. The Terminator says this. So, I mean, I'll keep reading. I'm interested. I'll see what's going on next.
I appreciate you guys for watching. Let me know what comic books you guys are reading this week or what you're looking forward to. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.